This video is one in a series of videos for the project called Building Bridges from Emergent to Conventional Literacy. Funded by the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs, Building Bridges is a stepping up technology implementation project. This video is focused on establishing the conditions for success in English language arts, with a specific focus on providing comprehensive instruction. Quite simply, comprehensive literacy instruction addresses each of the elements that is required for a student to learn to read with comprehension or to write to convey thinking each day. In other words, comprehensive instruction addresses reading, writing, speaking, and listening in an integrated way. We know that this integration is more effective than instruction that only focuses on reading, writing, speaking, or listening, because addressing them in an integrated way takes advantage of the arrows in this model. The arrows represent the synergy that results when, for example, students apply what they're learning about speaking or using augmentative and alternative communication while they're engaged in reading, writing, and listening. A comprehensive approach stands in contrast to readiness approaches, or approaches to instruction that focus on mastering skills in one area before moving to the next. In the context of literacy, this often means that students are first expected to learn to listen and understand before they begin speaking. And these two areas are firmly established before students are ready for reading instruction, and so on. This readiness approach is especially challenging for students who use augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC, to communicate, because we know that they often don't reach a sophisticated level of independent communicating or speaking with aided AAC systems until they become literate. In other words, they never master the lower steps because their means of communication is dependent on skills in reading and writing. The other challenge with this readiness approach is that it feeds into the long history of reductionist approaches to literacy instruction for students with significant disabilities. These approaches focus specifically on the skills that are part of reading and writing, put those skills in hierarchical sequences, and taught them to mastery through drill and practice. While all students need some degree of repetition with variety to learn, practicing small skills to mastery does not provide the kind of integrated, comprehensive instructional approach they need. For students with significant disabilities, the consequence of this reductionist approach is decades of evidence that they can master the skills with little evidence of their ability to use those skills to accomplish personally relevant reading and writing tasks. So what does comprehensive literacy look like? Well, this is partly dependent on what the students need. We determine what students need through 4 basic questions. Think about a specific student and decide yes or no to each of these questions. Does the student know most of the letters most of the time? Does the student engage actively during shared reading? Does the student have a means of communication and interaction? And does the student understand that writing involves letters and words? If you answer no to one or more of these questions, that student needs daily, comprehensive, emergent literacy interventions. You can learn about this combination of interventions at projectcore.com. You can learn about shared reading, which is one specific aspect of comprehensive emergent literacy intervention, at sharedreader.org. These previous projects focus directly on the needs of students who need comprehensive emergent literacy intervention. The specific daily emergent literacy interventions have been described in detail in Project Core and Tar Heel Shared Reader. On the websites for those 2 projects, you'll find specific professional development, planning and implementation resources, and coaching supports for emergent literacy interventions, including shared reading, predictable chart writing, alphabet knowledge and phonological awareness, independent reading, and independent writing. Our focus in building bridges is conventional literacy instruction. If you answered yes to all 4 of the questions, the student needs comprehensive daily conventional literacy interventions. In building bridges, we are building a system of professional development, planning, and implementation resources, as well as coaching supports, to help you provide comprehensive conventional literacy instruction to your students. One way that we carefully review the literacy programs for specific students is through this type of overview document. This example is for emergent literacy. You'll see that there are 5 primary interventions listed down the first column. For each intervention, you're asked to work as a team to identify the adult or adults who are specifically addressing the student's need or delivering each instructional routine. The days and time during each week when that work is being done, where it's being done, and any specific strategies, programs, or materials that are used. We have a similar form for conventional literacy that addresses the big areas of reading comprehension, working with words, which includes decoding, spelling, and word identification, self-directed reading, and writing. We find that completing these forms helps us focus on individual students and the scope of their comprehensive literacy program. It usually results in a better understanding of areas that are being underemphasized and may need to be strengthened before we start considering specialized or targeted interventions for any one student. Often, classrooms have a mix of students who require emergent and conventional literacy instruction. It is possible that your entire group will have all yeses or no responses. These classrooms do not require you to find the right mix of emergent and conventional literacy. But most classes do have a mix. In building bridges, we will work to build professional development and support that helps teachers and teams successfully meet the diverse needs of students in these mixed classrooms, and in classrooms with all students requiring conventional literacy instruction. As these resources are developed, you will find them on the Building Bridges project website.